Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now I'm gonna film this little ride to work because as you can plainly see, I have a bloody Cruisym, a 2022 model, late 2022, the Cruisym 300 with its 26 horsepower engine, ABS, traction control, everything, LED lights, digital display. And it's not mine. I did not buy it, but I did borrow it from work. Well, this is gonna be fucking interesting because my ass is gonna freeze. Anyway, let's start it up and get it warmed up a little bit. It's currently -1 degrees at the moment. Come on. Bit of a cold start. Should have kept the button pressed a little bit longer. It wanted to fire up, but problem is with this showroom units is they don't get a lot of activity. They don't get ridden every single day, and they really like to be ridden every single day and not sit around in a showroom for weeks on end without having the engine turned over. But like I was saying, I currently have the Cruisym from work because everything is broken. Yep, all of my vehicles are broken. Now, I also do have a car, but my car is in the shop because somebody a couple of weeks ago decided to rear-end me. Just close this. So that's out of commission. Last week I was riding Donnie around and unfortunately he blew his fork seals. After 32,000 kilometers, the fork seals decided to give up the ghost. And yesterday when I reached work on Brutus, because that was my last working vehicle, I realized that he was leaking brake fluid from the front master cylinder. So he blew his seals on the front master cylinder. So everything I have is currently leaking or damaged. Come on, what's going on? Oh, morning traffic. So yeah, I had to borrow the Cruisym from work because I found myself yesterday evening not having a vehicle to get home with. Because out of 3 vehicles, all of them are currently down. And now I guess that's the advantage of working in a showroom. I can actually borrow stuff from the showroom in case I no longer have a vehicle of mine. But Donnie's fork seals are currently on order. I'm talking with BMW about getting a repair kit for Brutus's master cylinder, because an entire brand new master cylinder, front master cylinder, it's like 400 euros. Bloody hell, that's expensive. So I'm trying to get a repair kit, because honestly I don't think I need to change the entire master cylinder. I just need to change the seals, because that's the problem. The brakes work fine, it's just that they're leaking brake fluid. So, but until those come in, both my bikes are currently down, and I have to borrow stuff from work. And for the first borrowing phase, yesterday the Cruisym was out of the showroom because it was used a little bit. And so I decided, you know, if it's already out of the showroom, I'm gonna take it home. And now I'm riding it at -1 degrees in the morning to work. And filming it because a lot of people have asked me, how is the Cruisym in traffic? Because it's a little bit of a bigger scooter compared to my little ST or to, I don't know, a Jet 14, a Fiddle, something like that. The Cruisym does have a little bit of girth. So I guess we need to find out how is the Cruisym through early morning traffic. Is it as maneuverable as the ST? Is it as quick and nimble? Is it as easy to place around cars? Or is it as cumbersome as Brutus is? But I highly doubt it. Even though the Cruisym actually is just 40 or 50 kilograms lighter than Brutus. Don't get me wrong, this is not a light scooter. This is 190 kilograms or thereabouts. But the torque of the engine makes quick work of all this weight. The brakes are nice and responsive, and I have to be actually pretty careful now because it's early morning and it's a little bit slippery on the road. It's not wet, but it's that morning dew that's on the road and makes everything a little bit slippery. But I have my back covered because I have full front and rear ABS, and also I have traction control, which I will not be switching off in these conditions. Oh no, traction control stays on because this ain't my scooter and it's slippery on the road. So traction control stays on, even though just 26 horsepower used. I know I can manage the power, but you know what, we'll leave traction control on just as a safety net. We have ABS that we can't turn off, so I'm pretty much covered. Between traction control and ABS, should be perfectly safe to ride to work, and we shall see once we hit a little bit of traffic up ahead. Now, yesterday when I came home, the Maxxis tires that the Cruisym comes standard on, I don't know what to say about them, but they didn't give me any hard stopping moments, that's for sure. Sure, I didn't push them all that hard, but again, it was like it is now, a little bit damp and a little bit cold. But it was perfectly fine. I did have decent grip, and I didn't feel the need for extra grip considering the speeds I was riding. I wasn't going crazy, but then again, I wasn't also going very slow. That's the thing. You can basically ride on anything, on any surface, if you go slow enough. It depends when that slow enough is too slow. But yesterday I could make some decent time home. The tires held normally. Nothing to write home about, but then again, nothing to worry about. And yeah, first bit of traffic, like people. Yep, that's the responsive torque of the 300cc engine. It's really nice how you can just get on the throttle and the thing, at least up to about 70 or 80 kilometers, just gets up and goes. Yeah, it's not a lot of power, 26 horsepower, don't get me wrong. You're not gonna go on the highway and do highway pulls. No, on the highway it's nice and civilized and settles in at about 110, 120 kilometers an hour cruising speed at about 6,000 RPM. But through the city, considering the CVT transmission is actually quite responsive for a CVT transmission, it's very, very, very pleasant. I can easily get the power down and do my overtakes. Just have to be careful of the damp parts and the slippery parts. Where the hell are you pulling out? Let's see if we can make quick work of this traffic. Like people said, the mirrors on the Cruisym, they could be a problem. We're gonna find out, because I always maintain the mirrors are higher than cars. As you can see, the mirrors are a little bit higher than they are on cars. And now let's see if we can do the switch. Do we have enough lock to do the switch? I'm steaming up, so open this up. Now, unfortunately, this is way too tight for me to fit. But I want to go forward and come on. Quick and nimble, come on. And quickly punch it and close this so we can actually see where the bloody hell we're going. See, it's not that bad. Yes, it is a little bit bigger, but it's nowhere near as cumbersome as Brutus is, even though I do like how Brutus is in the city. He is quite maneuverable, but there's no getting away from the fact that you're riding a 300-kilogram motorcycle that's basically almost as wide as a car. Considering that boxer engine Each cylinder has his own time zone. I'm sorry. Green light, quickly punch it. Yes, and now the nice part, the heavy traffic, the cumbersome heavy traffic. This is always a tight part in my commute. This is where it has to be properly maneuverable. Come on, come on, a little bit of space, thank you. Come on, please. There we go. This is where Brutus doesn't shine and Donnie absolutely shines. And currently the Cruisym is handling it beautifully. Now the thing with the mirrors, yes, they are on the fairing, so they are fixed mirrors. But the good thing is they are very, very up ahead of you and you see very well behind you, but also they are in your line of sight. So when you are maneuvering through between cars, it's actually quite easy to place them. So you don't actually hit them, because the way you look at them, you have the perfect angle to just, I don't know, to measure up other mirrors and see if you're gonna pass over them, under them, see if you have any bit of room. Come on now. Oh, bloody hell. Let's see now. You see, just because they are ahead of us, I can easily place them and I can lean the scooter a little bit and get myself out of really tight situations. So you see, the mirrors are not that big of a problem as people make them out to be, just because they are on the side. And also I can tuck them in. If I really wanted to go ham on this, I could tuck the mirrors in and just go for broke. But we're gonna leave them extended because I don't like riding with my mirrors tucked in. And some of the problems of Bucharest. Yep, just normal people begging in the middle of the street because, yeah, why not? And waiting for the green light. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is where we need acceleration and maneuverability. Quickly, we need to make a left. And now we can try out the sprint. So open it up, close this. There it goes, 70, 80, 90. Yep, plenty of power for the city, and the brakes are nice and responsive. Like I've said, there's plenty of power here to get around the city with brakes that are sufficiently responsive. I know it doesn't have a twin disc up front, it only has a single disc, and it would have been nice to have a twin disc, but as it sits, the front brake has some pretty meaty and wide brake pads, so it's actually, as you can see, quite responsive, and the brake dive is pretty minimal because of the small 14-inch wheel. And here, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Come on, do we fit? Do we fit? Come on, come on, come on. Thank you. Open this up. I'm steaming up again. Sorry for the changes in the audio with the visor closed and open, but if I'm going slow, I'm steaming up. If I'm going fast, my face is freezing because this windscreen, although it is tall, I'm still looking above it. So I can't really ride with it fully open. Again, you saw the mirrors are above small cars and below big vans, so you can easily maneuver them. If you're a little bit careful, you can maneuver the mirrors around the mirrors of cars and get through places you wouldn't think this little behemoth of a maxi scooter can fit. Come on. Punchy engine, very, very punchy engine. That's what I like about the Cruisym. Very, very punchy engine. This engine that you can find on also the Joymax 300, the HD 300, the Joyride 300. It's a really nice and punchy engine. It doesn't have a lot of horsepower, but what it does have is torque. torque and a responsive transmission, so it is quite punchy. Yeah, you're not gonna get the top end of something like a Zonta SM300, but you are gonna get the punchiness and the responsiveness. And considering it's always coupled with traction control and full ABS, you have your back covered for slippery situations. The scooter absolutely takes care of you. Very stable at speed, nice and comfy. The wind protection is actually quite decent. My legs are tucked in and covered from the wind chill. My upper body is also covered by this windscreen. The only wind that I have is on my helmet, that's it. It's a pleasant ride on a pleasant scooter, so yeah, you can use the Cruisym through the city. Is something like, I don't know, a Jet 14, a Symphony ST better for couriers? Yes, I'm gonna say yes. For a courier, something smaller like a Jet 14, a 125 is definitely better. It's also better on fuel consumption. A little 125 will drink about 3 liters per 100 kilometers. This, in normal riding mode through the city, should be around 4 liters, so about 1 extra liter per 100 kilometer. And for a normal person, that's nothing. If you're just riding to work and back like I currently am, it's nothing. But if you're a courier that rides all day long, 10 hours a day to do deliveries, an extra liter per 100 kilometers multiplied by the amount of kilometers that you do in a month for work does start to add up. So for a courier, something smaller would be a little bit better, but for every person, if you can afford something like this, yeah, it's a much more comfortable proposition than a little 125. You know what they say, there's no replacement for displacement, and it is true, it is true. And here we are with the Cruisym showroom. Arrived at work, and yeah, it was a nice experience having the Cruisym home for the night, riding it home in the dark, riding it to work in the freezing morning because it is still February. It performed perfectly. And now, hopefully, you get to see how the Cruisym is riding around through the city. And a couple of bikes. Apparently, I'm not the first one to work. That's nice. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching, for liking the videos, for subscribing. And remember, if you want to support the channel, do consider becoming a member of the channel. It really does help me out a lot. But until next time, take care out there, everyone, and ride safe. Bye!